Yep, that's what we're talking about. And hey, everybody, we got a great show for you tonight. I am here with the most incredible, amazing, yep, he is that, the psychic lawyer, Mark Anthony. Tonight's show is in celebration. And as we said for you before, this is a live call-in show, 1-800-930-2819. No guests, just you. You're our guest. And for those of you that are on Facebook, we're also taking your questions and comments there. We're going to try to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because this is a big event. It's the final supermoon of 2021, and it packs groundbreaking energy for manifesting. The thing I added on, it's accelerated, and we're going to talk about it. Mark is going to do readings. I'm going to help you get through this. It is all good. It is all strawberry. Don't get any highs. And we're going to have some fun, Mark, right?
Absolutely. And, the strawberry moon is fascinating because it's a supermoon. And a supermoon occurs, the moon's orbit around the Earth is elliptical. It's not a perfect circle. In fact, the orbits of all the planets around the sun are elliptical. So think of it like an oval. And the supermoons occur when the moon in its elliptical orbit is the closest it gets to the Earth. And it's a supermoon because it's also a full moon. So we got a lot going on here. I mean, so I gave you the quick rundown from the astronomical standpoint, but from the astrological standpoint, this is a real big deal. And also, we're affected by all types of energy, electromagnetic energy, certainly, but also we're subjected to gravitational forces. And if you don't believe me, next time the tide goes out, ask yourself why. Why does the tide go out? That's because of the moon's gravitational impact on the Earth. And if you think it just ends there, you're wrong. And Dr. Pat, I want to ask you a question as the street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist. The term lunatic, Luna being Latin for moon. All the cops I know, all the firefighters, all my friends that have worked in those fields and in hospitals always say that it's the most intense during a full moon. What is your take on that?
A very interesting take on it. Very interesting. The lunatic is in the grass. The lunatic is in the grass. Remembering games and daisy chains laughs. Got to keep the loonies on the path. The lunatics are in the hall. The lunatics are in the hall. The paper holds their folded face to the floor, and every day the paper boy brings more. And if the dam breaks, open many years ready? Too soon. And if there's no room upon the hill, and if your head explodes with dark forebodings too, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. Pink Floyd!
Woo-woo.
That's
And you
the
know
answer
what?
to your question. Jacob, you got to find that.
And you know what?
You got to find that.
I just threw that question out there for Dr. Pat. We did not plan this at all, but I somehow knew she'd be ready for it. So
that is my favorite. That is one of my favorite all-time. First of all, Pink Floyd, just right there for me. Going through my life, seeing them live. I mean, honestly, I don't understand why bands like that break up, but who cares? There's a great thing on television, like a documentary of Pink Floyd and the making of Dark Side of the Moon. Incredible. But okay, so you asked me about that question, and the reason I gave you that answer is Pink Floyd in this album is a bit old, right? But when I was younger, why would I relate to that song? Why would I relate to those lyrics? So here's what I know. Many, many people have been called lunatics.
Right.
Da Vinci. Yeah. Many people. Michelangelo. Many people. Albert Einstein. Carl Jung. I mean, it must be a compliment.
Well, yeah, the moon has captivated people since the dawn of time. And you saying, well, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, that's an older piece of music. So is Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, but I never get tired of hearing that either. And what I think is fascinating, because I know that on this show, we're certainly about the most open-minded show on the air. The upcoming NASA mission to the moon is the Artemis program. Now, is
that NASA or is it NASA and SpaceX?
NASA and SpaceX.
Okay,
because the Apollo mission in Greek and Roman belief systems, mythology, Apollo was the god of the sun, and his twin sister Artemis was the goddess of the moon. And I think it's fantastic that they've named the second moon program Artemis, because it is going to carry the first woman to walk on the moon. And I think that this is amazing. And I think it's great that we're talking about this, because we just had the summer solstice, which was on Monday, June 21st, which is the longest day of the year, at least if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So for all of our friends in the land down under, I guess that was your shortest day of the year. And now we have the strawberry supermoon.
Yeah. So let's just clear up a few things for everybody. Why is it called a strawberry moon? It's called a strawberry moon because we've gone through the summer solstice. We're moving into harvest, especially, I believe it's on the East Coast. We're talking about harvesting in strawberries. So, that was the big mystery. Why do we call it a strawberry moon? I mean, that's what we call it. But this is a supermoon, and this supermoon is in Capricorn. This is a Capricorn full moon. It is a supermoon. But that's not the only story to tell. The story to tell today is the story of the energy we're now feeling, energy that is moving. When I talk about this, I am struck by how I'm in my office. I'm surrounded by a great team of people. We've got 3 new producers. We've got 4 other people joining us because we made a promise to people. See, people say to me, so what? So what? But I think you did a reading of Mark a bunch of years ago. I'm trying to remember the year. I can't remember exactly. And honestly, I can't go back and find it. But one of the things that people have said is at some point in time, there has to be something that we create here that is not just positive, but informative. We've called a lot of what we're doing AI for the soul.
Yeah.
But this full moon isn't just for us. Here's what I'm struck by, though. I bet if the people listening to this show thought about what has shifted in the past couple of days and what has shifted even today, I bet we would find some of that juicy Capricorn strawberry moon energy. It's about abundance, it's about acceleration, and it's about manifestation. And when you throw Jupiter in the mix, you better fasten your seatbelt because you may get exactly what you want, right, Mark?
Well, yes, and sometimes you got to be careful getting exactly. Oscar, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's an attorney, and it's interesting. He's a born again Christian, but he's very open to what I do as a medium. And we were talking, and he quoted Oscar Wilde, and there's two quotes, one he gave and one I gave. And Oscar Wilde said, "Always be yourself because everyone else is taken," which I thought was great. And the quote I brought up was, when God wants to punish us, he answers our prayers. So that's why, you have to be careful what you wish for, because sometimes
Yeah.
that's what you get.
But that's what this show is about. This show is about leaving you with an affirmation. If you want to tell me what your sign is, I might be able to get you some information. But the bottom line for this is an enormous shift. You're hearing things in the headlines like record breaking, ... I read something this morning or yesterday. Massachusetts has exceeded whatever their goals were regarding COVID control or whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is the language we're starting to hear. But I don't want to take up time, but you and I got to go back and revisit this Artemis thing. Because if a woman is going to be the first woman on the moon, just saying, people, then why wasn't it called Athena? Let's go to the phones. Mark's looking at me like,
well, because Artemis was the goddess of the moon. But Athena's cool too. Anyway,
I'm just saying we're gonna have so much fun today. I mean, God, did you put something else up on your wall? That looks great.
Oh, in the back there. Yeah, I was just moving some stuff around today, and there was all of a sudden there was an empty spot, so I just stuck that there. Thank you for noticing.
That's what this moon is about. No empty, stuff around. All right, let's go, Malia. Let's go to the phones. Who do we have?
All right, we're going to start with Marianne from New York. Hey, Marianne.
Oh, sorry, Jacob. Thank you for
I'll be chatting.
She's
pushing the buttons for me.
Sorry,
though.
I apologize.
No problem.
Marianne, are you with us?
I am. I'm right here.
Good. It's great to have you. I just want to break out in song today. I was going to sing with or without you. Is that Bono? I want to kick you over to Mark for a minute, but let me ask you, how can we help you today?
I have a question about my loved one that has passed, and I just feel like I've been getting a lot of signs like someone's trying to give me a message and it can't come through, and I just not sure what I should be seeing.
Is this a male who's passed?
Yes.
Okay, because when you said a loved one who's come through, a male energy is coming through who is associated with you. And also my lungs are burning like this. Now, normally when I do private one-on-one readings, I spend about 15 minutes ahead of time explaining various things. But when spirits connect with me initially, I get things associated with how they passed. So I'm getting a burning sensation in my lungs, and I'm getting this, like I can't swallow. And even this numbness on my mouth, my nose, and this inability to taste and even smell. So something was going on with this gentleman where he's getting these problems with his larynx, esophagus, definitely burning sensation with the lungs, which could indicate some type of disease or issue with the lungs. And I feel like I can't swallow, can't smell, can't taste anything. And I'm getting this blurry vision coming in and out. So whatever was going on with him was affecting his mental focus and clarity prior to passing, in addition to his ability to breathe. Marianne, does any of this resonate or make sense to you?
Yes, it was my dad.
Okay. Hold on. Tuesday. He keeps bringing up the day of the week, Tuesday. Now, there could be a particular Tuesday of significance. For example, my mom passed on a Thursday, which is a Thursday I'll never forget. And it doesn't necessarily mean that's the day that he passed on there, but there could be a Tuesday of significance between you and him, or perhaps a Tuesday coming up. Is there something about Tuesday which makes sense to you? Or maybe something that happened this last Tuesday?
No, not that I could think of.
No, it's this last Tuesday. Did you have some type of dream or sensation that he was there, but you couldn't quite get to him?
Yeah, that's why I keep feeling that he needs to tell me something, but I can't understand what he's trying to tell me.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it seems like his last big contact or attempt to make contact was this last Tuesday, is what I'm getting. So I want you to think about that. Let me see if we can get a focus on this. Were you trying to be there when he passed but couldn't? That's the sense that I'm getting, that you were trying to be there but you couldn't.
Yeah, I was driving when he passed.
There we go. I'll tell you exactly what he's telling me. You were trying to get there, but you couldn't. And you've been very upset that you weren't there when he expired. And he's trying to let you know that it's A-okay. He said, whether you were there or whether you weren't, it doesn't change how much we love each other. And he wants you to know that. Also, have you been doing something where you're cutting things? I don't know if you work with fabric or scissors, but he's showing like all these cuttings, pieces. I mean, something that you're cutting using scissors, little pieces of fabric. Does that make any sense?
No, not right at the moment.
I want you to think about that. Anyone close to you do a lot with fabric cutting, sewing, seamstress, something like that? Because I'm seeing like patterns, fabric, and I keep getting all these cuttings. Remember, it may not be about you. It could be about someone close to you or connected with your dad. And I have an interpretation of that, but I want to see what Dr. Pat thinks.
Hi, yeah. Marianne, can I ask you a question? And I want to also make a recommendation. You kind of chat with Mark.
Yes.
Okay. Man, I know what it's like at a personal level to lose someone and not be there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I've lost every female role model in my life abruptly, and have not been there. And it's taken me a while to understand about that. And Mark, I'm not really asking you to bring any of them in, but you know, there are a couple, they're hanging out there doing some stuff to help me out right now.
Yes, they are.
But I want to tell you this, Marianne, I want to leave you with this. I want to invite you to let go of the feeling that you have unfinished business. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, very much.
I don't want to go into any detail about it on the air, but I really want to invite you to let go of the notion that you have unfinished business, because they don't. They don't have unfinished. Mark, maybe you can affirm this for me.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say, Mark?
Absolutely.
They don't have unfinished business with Mary Ann.
Absolutely. There's no unfinished business, and the cuttings and the pieces of fabric is a metaphor about you trying to tie everything together, pick up the pieces of your life, and to make sense out of everything in the wake of your father's passing. And he's telling you that it's A-okay. So Marianne, I want you to take heart with that. And
can we find out what her birth sign is, Mark?
Yeah, go ahead. What is
Marianne,
it?
What's your birth sign? Do you know what your birth sign is?
My birth sign is Aries.
Okay. So there's a message today. You're calling in on a very important day. This is a big moon day. This is a big day. This is a super moon day. This is one of those super moons where you have the energy of Jupiter, and thank goodness it is in retrograde. And what you're really looking at and calling in on a show on this day with the moon is tonight. You got that right? Did you hear us talk about it?
Yes. Yes.
And the message, without going into a lot of detail, this is a moon that is a shift. It could be a life path shift. And you know, when you're calling into a show like this and you are trying to or want to move beyond a stuckness with something, especially an energy that's no longer in physical body, you've started to unlock and uncover something that is your truth. It could be a true passion, right? It doesn't mean it's a job, but this is this time of personal self-growth in this moon. So you have to honor your dreams and your life and where your life is to go. The best direction for you is to look within and follow your intuition, but you have to align with it. Everything I need will find me. That's your affirmation. Everything I need will find me.
I've been struggling with this because I have a decision to make about my job, and I need a direction, and that's what I'm fighting.
This moon is shifts in your career and life path or ongoing completion. This is completion phase for you. This isn't a struggle phase anymore.
See, this is tying all those pieces together. Pat, as usual, you're right on the money with that. Yeah. And you know what? Your dad's saying, when you learned how to swim, did they throw you in the pool and say swim, like threw you in the deep end of the pool, Marianne? Because that's the sense that I'm getting.
Pretty much, because I was the
Hold
oldest
on.
in my family.
That's a yes. Okay. That's exactly what your dad's saying. He said, you took the plunge then and you came out okay. Take the plunge again. You'll come out okay.
Yep.
So that's the direction.
That's it.
That's
I love it. So here you go. I'm going to leave you with this. This is what you need to be saying. I'm a visionary and open to my true life path and purpose. Everything I need will find me. I'm a visionary. I am open to my true life path and purpose. Everything I need will find me. I am a visionary. I'm open to my true life path and purpose. Everything will find me. That is what the moon message is for you. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Wow.
This is really cool. I love it. Let's keep rolling with the phones if we could, right?
Absolutely. Full moons are great to do readings on. The energy's up.
What's your birth month, Mark? Just asking.
I never talk about that.
Oh my God! I'm not asking for the year.
Always like, what's your birthday?
I'm not
what's your
like
birthday?
saying
it's
which year you're born. Okay, never mind. Let's go.
Yesterday.
All right.
I came out of the chrysalis.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Jacob, help us out here.
All right, we're gonna head over to Connecticut, and we've got Sandra on the line. Sandra from Connecticut.
Sandra, how are you? What part of Connecticut?
I'm in a small little town near Rhode Island called Voluntown. It's the volunteer town.
Are you really like close to, our first show on TTR was out of WBOQ in Rhode Island. That's a station like that. It's got like a little river, and right across the river is like Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How can we help you today?
Well, tomorrow is the 7th anniversary of my son's transition. So it just seems so fitting that I would be able to get through to you tonight. I'm a big fan of both of you. I respect both of you immensely. And we had my son's ashes, like a release ceremony under the hunter's moon. It was in October of 2014. We had it after he had passed because we had a Native American come and do a complete release with sage and offerings, tobacco, and it was just incredible. And today I happened to see the firekeeper's father. Just ran into him, and I haven't seen him in 7 years.
Yeah.
So I believe, there's a lot of connections. The 6 degrees of separation is something I completely relate to.
Everything that you're describing, Sandra, is what I have termed spiritual synchronicity. It's, tomorrow's the 7th anniversary. You saw the firekeeper today, which was 7 years ago. You have all the Native American symbology, your son's ashes. Now, I realize that Native Americans, we think of bows and arrows with that. Was there something with your son and archery, bows and arrows? Because as you were talking about him, I just kept getting like, and you said yes?
Yes, she said
Yes.
yes.
Oh, okay, yes. And your son was and is, as a spirit, extremely intelligent. And it seems like he had great eyesight. I get this whole like vision like a hawk. And he's one of these guys. It's funny because I had a friend who was a special forces force recon Marine, and he reminds me of him. You know, when he look at you, it's like a hawk looking at you, and he's zero in on things. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It just means that your son's very intense and very focused. Also, with the sage, he talks about elm and maple. So I'm seeing elm leaves and maple leaves. Is there some significance to elm and maple trees or leaves connected to you or your son that would make sense in any way?
Yeah, it's pretty. It just might be right where he transitioned himself.
Got it. Okay. And he died by his own hand?
Yes.
The reason I'm asking this is, and no mother ever wants to hear this, but this is what he wants to communicate. This was from his perspective, a very well thought out decision. This was not a haphazard, I get this conflicted sense of reality going on with him prior to passing. And it seems like for the longest time, everything was on an even keel and he was struggling to keep it that way. And then there was like he was stepping into this alternate state. Now, it's a lot of times when I connect with a spirit that transmits sensations like this could be like bipolar, or this could be a form of schizophrenia, but it feels like it's neither of those. It's something different, but it has similar, what's the word, Pat? Is it sequela or symptoms? It's that's what it feels like. Sandra, does that make any sense to you?
100%.
Okay.
There was never a true diagnosis, but because he fit different symptoms of the spectrum of different mood disorders, but it was never identified completely in those terms, and I had to come to peace with that. But
hold on, please, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but here's the other sense that I'm getting. Was he Asperger's syndrome?
No.
Yeah, because it's like he's got those other issues, but then there's this brilliance and there's that hawk-like focus. And that also has to do with this alternate reality that he would step into. And Sandra, please forgive me. I didn't mean to cut you off, but he just transmitted that to me. He was just absolutely brilliant. Very, very complex, and then very simple. Very complex, very simple. This young man, a lot of dichotomy going on with him. And he said that he logically decided that it was time for him to exit because there was a deterioration of his ability to maintain his grip on what he called the real world. And it was getting to the point he could no longer take struggling with it. And I realize that this is very painful to hear, but he said, my mother will understand and this will bring her peace.
I do understand. I understand that. I'm so connected to him. I understand that without crying. His dad takes a lot of the guilt that he can't release because he had an argument with him prior to his passing, but I know what he thought of it. It was well thought out. I know that. I just wondered if he had any messages for me for today, because it's 7 years, but it's like yesterday. But I'm healing and I'm stronger, and he's just my greatest teacher, my Chase.
Yeah.
He wants you to build a great bonfire. Now, obviously, don't burn the house down or anything like that. And, but he said that a great bonfire, because the 7-year cycle has come to its close. And on this moon, he calls it the red moon. I know it's the strawberry moon. He goes, this red moon. And he keeps showing me the color red, 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 red's everywhere. He said, this is the time for you to close. This is the time for you to close. But there's like this big bonfire. And he said that the only reason that he fought with his father is because his father was presenting reason while I was wallowing in a sea of discord. And he said, please tell dads. He says dads, like D-A-D-Z. It's strange way he says dads. I love him. And go ahead.
He has two dads. He has stepdad and his biological dad. Yes.
Okay, tell dads I love them, I respect them, and they're worthy of honor. Your son, it's almost like he stepped out of like the 18th century with this sense of honor. Really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat?
What I just want to say that, one of the things that I love and I know, and especially about this moon, is there are no mistakes about the people that you ran into or the people that you will run into. The key that I want to leave you with is I want you to connect the dots between them all. I want to make sure that you're looking at the dots, because connecting the dots is going to help with how you move forward, right? And I agree with Mark. There's some ritual that needs to happen. There's something that needs to happen. When we are that connected, and yet at some strange level, we know that folks have moved on to a place that people like Mark can connect with. They've done that. They're not holding an energy that is bad. It's benevolent. It's beautiful and benevolent. And nobody did anything wrong. See, this is the dilemma when somebody chooses to leave. My mom chose to leave, and it haunted my sister her entire life until my sister, in her own way, created a slow death. But the power to choose how to be in an energy is something that we bump up against in religion, and we bump up against and in other ways. But this place was not right for my mom. It wasn't. She knew it. She bumped into walls left and right, was misunderstood. But there's a ritual. There's something for you to do around this. And this is an important year to do it. Don't know why. It's an important year to do it. It's a really important year to do it. And this moon tonight is an important release energy, because there's an energy that wants to bring in more. He's okay.
Beautiful.
He's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, he's better than okay. And sometimes we are hard to get the message. I can't remember when I got the message from my mom. I'm okay. You need to get okay, Pat. You need to be okay. You've got things to do. You got to get okay. Now, it took me a while to figure that out and what that meant. But everybody is really okay. And that's what I want to leave you with. And that's what I'd like you to take with you.
Oh, thank you. I work very hard on healing and not living in the past, but just embracing the signs that he sends and being open to receive them.
I think you're getting a big sign this one. See, this one, when you run into somebody who is a spiritual master connector at Native American grounding, releasing, honoring those that have passed, when you run into people like that, you have to wonder for a minute, is really this my time? Is this my time to release and know all is well? When I say the word release, you don't stop loving people. You don't stop feeling people. But you release the energy of anything that you think that they are holding you accountable for. They're not.
Okay.
Okay, you see what I mean? That's why you ran into the person you ran into. There's something to be done for you to just be able to move beyond whatever that string is, that umbilical cord of that umbilical cord of guilt and shame. That's not coming from him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please let us know.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Sandra.
Thank you for calling in. Yeah. Boy, that's a big lesson. I had to get that from my mom and my stepmom, by the way, you know, well, Jacob,
Yes.
where do we want to go next?
We're gonna head over to
Yes.
we're gonna head over to Texas with our friend Chitteraya. Hey,
Okay.
hey,
All right.
Chitteraya.
Chitteraya, how can we help you today?
Wait, is that hello?
Is that you?
Wait, is it for Chadaria?
Chitteraya, this is Mark Anthony. I'm here with Dr. Pat, and you're live on the air, and millions of people are listening to you.
Hey, did you dial the right number?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't know who that was because it was yeah, I mispronounced it, but Mark,
How do you pronounce
I
your
have
name?
something
Give
for
us your
Mark.
right name.
Wait, what did you say?
It's
How do you
Chadaria.
pronounce
That
your
was
name?
my bad. Chadaria, is that right?
Chadaria.
I like
I'm
that
so sorry
better.
about that.
I don't know what I called you,
Yeah.
but let's erase that thing. All right, Chadaria, how can we help you today?
So I was on here 2 weeks ago. I was talking with Mark Anthony, and he said that I could come for a follow-up reading if I'd like. And I couldn't come I came for these past 2 weeks, but I don't think they were accepting calls. So
All right, well, you're here now, so
Okay.
how can we help you?
Yeah.
So remember when I told you about my dad, the one with the pear?
Yes, you got to realize I do a lot of readings, but I do remember connecting with your dad. Okay, so what is your question?
Yeah.
I think I might have been receiving signs, and I see some red cardinals, but I don't know, and sometimes I may see his face, but I don't know what to distinguish between a sign and an average everyday thing.
Well, that's a very good question. I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of people ask that. And cardinals are one of those creatures. They're like dragonflies and butterflies that they're what I call frequency beacons. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to read my book, Evidence of Eternity, but in that book, there's a chapter entitled Frequency Beacons, the Two-Way Street of Love. And here's how you tell the difference between a sign and, gee, is that it? If all of a sudden you look and you see something, whether it's a cardinal, dragonfly, a number on a clock, a particular number sequence, or you turn on the radio and there's that song, a frequency beacon is if as soon as you see that, hear it, or experience it, you immediately think of the person in spirit, that is a message from them. And the reason I call it a frequency beacon is think of everyone that we're connected to, both in this world and on the other side, as being connected in a three-dimensional spider web. Now, how do spider webs work? Through vibration. So you, all of a sudden, your attention is drawn to a cardinal and you think of your dad. Well, your dad did not turn into a cardinal, but his energetic force as a spirit can cause a cardinal to fly into your field of view, and simultaneously he's emitting an electromagnetic impulse into your brain that's saying, hey, look at that, and then you think dad. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted like a little reading. I wanted to hear what he has to say because I've had some things I've been talking to my mom about, and I want to know if he's been hearing it and if he knows how I feel or if he knows what's been going on.
Oh, so your question is you've been chatting with your mom, right? So your question is, does your dad want to weigh in? Dad maybe don't want to weigh in, right? But Mark, I think that's the question. There's been a conversation with mom. And Mark, here's a question for you. Sometimes our loved ones that have passed, they don't want to get in our business, right?
No, nothing spiritual is controlling. They're not here to control us or tell us what to do. They can send us frequency beacons. They can send us suggestions, and it's up to us. because ultimately it is your own free will. It's your own free will that matters. And spirits can present some guidance, but whether or not you accept that is up to you.
Yep. Is anything coming through from her dad? Like, does he want to say, hey, you know, I listened to you and this is what I got to say?
Well, he definitely hears you. Is there something? I'm sorry, you had a question or a comment?
Yeah, Mark Anthony, I just wanted to see if his spirit could come through, because I had...
Right, and that's what I'm trying to do, and you got to stop interrupting me when I'm doing that, okay? And the thing is, when I'm going into my zone, just wait until I say, do you recognize that, or does that make sense? Yeah, his spirit, that's what I was explaining to you. His spirit is coming through, but he's telling me that you're so full, you're so churned up with emotions and concern and care that without meaning to, you're blocking the messages and the contact. And it's very normal what you're doing. Is there some type of light fixture or lamp? It's almost something that could be on a porch or it could be in the house, but I'm seeing like a light fixture with this bulb that's either loose or it's blinking, but there's something with a lamp, a light bulb, a light fixture, that something is irregular. Is there something going on in your life like that? Because this is something he's really hammering me with.
I think so. It might be in my restroom, because there are light bulbs, and like it's a set of 2 sets of containing 4 light bulbs.
Yeah.
And one of them is off until we screw it a little bit, and then it turns back on. And then the other one, we screw it. The other one that's off, we screw it, and then it comes back on.
Guess who? You see, spirits can affect, because they are electromagnetic energy, because we all are. They're just a pure form of it. That's your dad letting you know he's around. He's watching out for you, watching, okay? So, yes, he is coming through, and he is sending you that sign among others, okay? And I know that you talk about cardinals, but he keeps showing me it could be a sparrow, but it appears to be a hummingbird. Is there anything with a picture or an image of a hummingbird which makes sense to you?
No, I haven't even seen any hummingbirds in my yard in years.
Be on the lookout, because if a spirit brings something up, it may not yet have come to pass. So I'll leave that with you.
Yeah. We're going to be interested in hearing back from you in a couple of weeks and see what actually shows up. But yeah, those energies are interesting. You know, when you have the light bulb experience, be mindful of what you're thinking. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, you walk into a bathroom, you're not thinking light bulb. You're walking into the bathroom, there's something on your mind. And the light bulb goes beep, beep, buzz, buzz. There you go. So be mindful of what you're thinking and write it down.
And I'm sorry, Dr. Pat. And Dr. Pat's absolutely right. And don't overthink it.
Yeah,
go with the first thing
just
it hits
write
you.
it down.
Yeah.
And don't even look at it.
I've been overthinking it too.
Right, but here's what I want you to do. Every time you're getting a hit like this, you got to take a Post-it note, write it down. Don't even look at it. Just write down what it is. At the end of the week, you take your Post-it notes and you put them on the wall. That's where you get your message.
I've also been having like dreams where he's been in it. I don't know if that's a sign or anything.
You know, sometimes we get dreams with our loved ones in it, because they're trying to tell us something and we're blocking what they're telling us. And so they will show up in the dream, but they won't show up and tell you anything because they can't. So that's why I'm giving you this other thing to do, because if the electromagnetic energy is coming through a light bulb, and it doesn't happen all the time, and you have to put your hand up and adjust it, what is on your mind? What is the question? What are you thinking? Did you just burn the chicken? It doesn't matter what it is, but that's got to be the next step, because in order for you to hear the message, you have to get unblocked from wanting to hear the message so badly you can't hear it.
Oh, I also have a question for Mark Anthony. I want to know if maybe my dad can tell you if he's been aware of my academic achievements.
I think, do me a favor. Let's have you come back on another call, because I think your dad just answered like 4 or 5 things about the first question.
Right. And we got to get to other people too.
Well, and the other thing is, you got to address this first thing. You see what I'm saying? If you address this first thing and we can get underneath it, I guarantee you, you'll get the message directly. But whatever you need to clear out, there's something you got to clear out. I don't know what it is, but if you go through this exercise I'm giving you, I'm going to be amazed to find out what you discover. Okay? Let's hear from you in a couple weeks, but please, this is the day to start that exercise, by the way, this moon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. Jacob.
All right.
Where's Jacob?
Hi there. How's it going?
How are you?
We've got Nebby from Eureka, California, and Nebby is a Capricorn rising.
What is Nebby, but what's the sun sign? Virgo?
That's right.
We got a lot to say. We got a lot to say here. Nebby, welcome.
Welcome. Wait, you're welcoming me. Oh, can you hear me?
Well, love you. You're live. Welcome to the show. Hey, I do. Welcome. I love saying it 3 times. You're here on the Psychic and the Doc. Mark is here. I know. I love it. Look, I know we got something. We got something to help you with. What is it? I know. I can feel it.
Oh my golly! Well, I'm out here in the redwoods. I'm pretty surprised you guys actually got me today. I've been calling maybe for 7 months now. Wow.
I'll tell you, this is the big moon day.
Yeah, and 7 months is the charm.
Well, okay.
Hey, Nebby, what can we do for you?
Okay. Well, I consider myself kind of a moon child. My moon sign is in the sign of Cancer. I've been told, well, I'm kind of like a junior medium, if you will. I'm kind of like not practicing, but it's kind of getting overwhelming for me, and I'm a little scared about tonight. I know it's the full moon and whatnot. It slams me hard, guys. I just
not this
get,
one.
Like, really spiritually open, and
no, not this
really
moon.
Intense and
No. I got to stop you. I'm not like talking to a loved one that passed. I'm just giving you advice. A lot of the full moons, yes, this is not that full moon. This is a full moon, strawberry moon in Capricorn. Now, it's also a strawberry moon in Capricorn in a year where Jupiter is like doing a lot of abundance and a lot of big things. This is a big manifestation moon. If you want big manifestation and don't want your normal moon experience, you got to sit down and write down what you truly desire. This is the day to do it, right? Your sign is in Virgo. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is good. This is a super moon. It is all about positive and intentional transformation. Okay. This is like the moon. There's like not another moon coming like this. The last moon wasn't like this. So what I'm trying to say to you is your past does not set a precedence for what you're going to experience tonight and the next 3 days. It's a 3-day moon. So that's what I'm trying to say. Let's clear out the energy really quickly. Let's just take a moment and say, really quickly, Mother, Father, God, Spirit, Energy, Universe, let's take all past experience of any moon energy, any full moon energy, any of the moon energy that was set in another way and in another time. Let's take that energy and let's have it rise up. You have to have it rise up because that's what Nebby's got to do. She's got to rise up. She called into this show. What? Because she's in the middle of the forest. We're talking about the moon energy that says, no, there is no distraction. There's absolutely no way on this planet that she's not going to be able to call into the show. It's not like other moons. Other moons would say she can't call into the show. The reception is not good. No. Thank you for what we're about to call in for her. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you what we can gain for this higher perspective. Thank you for helping her shift her beliefs and surround reality. Thank you for letting her know that wherever she has been restricted, whether it's moon energy or not, it's gone. This is time to articulate what feels right. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, all of the things above that manage and move the energy of those that are in earth skins and those that are beyond. And for Virgo, this is the time for Virgo energy, projects, creative ideas, time you've invested into yourself. It is the time now you can start to come to conclusion. This is what I'm saying. This is not like the other moons for you. The other moons are going to string you out. They're going to make you keep going. No. It is the Virgo side of this that you're shifting some of the restrictions you've held on your creativity and self-expression. Now you're doing it. You're talking about, I'm a beginning or a something medium. No, you're not. You've been doing it. You've already arrived. This is the time. You have to be, and probably are hypercritical of yourself. But this is when the cosmos is telling you your growth, your abundance through this internal change, improvements, business, personal relations. This is now. This is this moon. You're moving closer to your higher self, your future vision, and your life. Here's your affirmation. I am a creative being. I do not restrict my thoughts or ideas for the comfort of others. I can release attachment to unnecessary structure. Okay, I'm
Wow.
done. Mark, you want to go next?
Yeah, what I'm getting, Nebby, is that you don't necessarily need a connection with loved ones in spirit, more with breaking down the barriers that you're inadvertently creating with your spirit guides and the energies that are around you. And what's really fascinating, Nebby, is it seems that you have a particular connection with the angelic frequency. And that, I don't know if you do work with angels or angel readings, but since you've been on the line, I keep getting these angelic images. So that's where you need to be putting your focus at this time. And the angelic realm is really fascinating because they're, to me, like the ultimate guide. I mean, God is the ultimate guide, but angels are a guiding and stabilizing influence. And what's going on here is exactly what Dr. Pat was saying. You're hypercritical of yourself. You're over analyzing yourself, and you've got all this energy that's going in all these different directions, and you doubt that it's there. And this connection with the angelic energies is to rein it in so that you can then center yourself. And that's what the message is.
Wow. I just heard boing. Bang.
What'd you hear? Tell me what you heard. What'd you hear?
Right.
Ta-da!
I think my biggest problem is sometimes, like, if I'm in public with friends, let's say we're out having dinner or whatnot, they'll be talking to me, and all I hear is kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher, wah, 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 kind of stuff, but I'm hearing the spirits talking to me at the same time, and they'll be like, Nebby, have you even heard what we just said? Yeah, sure, and sometimes I don't know how to tune that out.
Yeah, let me give you my tip on that. That is one of those things that does happen, and you will learn how to tune it out, but you don't have to tune it out. And Mark does teachings on this. I do teachings on boundaries. You need a boundary. When you're with your friends, you're with your friends.
Yep.
You can't hear what your friends are saying, and you got the spirit over here saying, I need you to climb Mount Everest. You need to say, wait a minute. Okay, I can't talk to you now. Like, I got to talk. I'm out having dinner. I want to eat my pasta later.
Oh, how'd
Call
you know?
me later, buddy.
Yeah,
simplification.
Yeah, you have to set the parameters and tell them, thank you, but check in with me later when I'm not out eating pasta with my friends.
Yeah.
I don't share my pasta, you guys. That's a
Oh
no-no.
my God.
Well, all right, whatever. You're out drinking your organo green steak in the redwood
I gotta
forest.
have my pasta. I gave up pasta. I don't know why it brought up that. But here's what we want to leave you with around this. You didn't give it up? Oh my
Heck
God.
no, I'm
I tried the
Italian.
gluten-free. Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm making me gag to think about it. Nebby, here's the thing. This is your next task. You see this full moon? You need to write down your attention that you want to learn how to be in multiple dimensions. This is a fifth dimension moon. You're living a fifth dimension life, but you're in earth skin. Sometimes you have to do your laundry, and you have to say, that is a really cool thing you're saying. I get it. When I get back to the office, I will share it with the team. I will call you. You have to, I'm going to text you when I'm ready and do your laundry.
Right. Got it.
Good.
Whew. I'm going to have to rewatch the show after this and take a few notes or three.
I'm going to have to rewatch the show and take notes on what I said. But this is a big moon for you. It's a very big moon for you.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to start
Did
my
you say you had
manifesting
Capricorn
tonight,
rising? I got 1 minute. Did you say you had Capricorn rising, or did I make that up?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
This is the deal. Those of us, like, this affects my sign Sagittarius because of Jupiter, but I have a Capricorn moon. You have Capricorn rising. So I have 30 seconds that I have to tell you. When you look at the Capricorn aspect of the moon, you're heavily affected this moon because it's your sign, but it's not your sign. It's a rising sign. This is where you're activating all the personal growth challenges, changes, experience over the past year. This is where you're activating them, not that you're reliving them. You are a changed person today as a result of the relationships you want to have. You got that? This is a new agreement. You're working in a new agreement. After a year of intense personal growth, abundance is in your reality.
Ta-da.
Oh my goodness, I've got chills right now, you guys. I've got the chills. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nebby.
We
Blessings.
need to hear from you when you can call in above the big trees. Thank you. Mark, what a great show, right?
Yes, and next week's show, World UFO Day, and we've got an expert, the former head of the U.S. military's UFO project, Colonel Dr. John Alexander, one of the most interesting people in this world. All right, so we'll see you next week. I'm Mark Anthony here with Dr. Pat, street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, my friend, my colleague, and we are the Psychic and the Doc. See you next Thursday.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. PatBacilli, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on the Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.